I know that Walking Dead Season 2 has been out for a while and tons of people who want to see it have probably seen it ages ago, but I just finished watching it yesterday, so we're going to talk about it. Now, as you remember, I overall was pretty happy with Season 1, pretty liked it, was really interested in where it was going. So, Season 2, I was interested to see where they go, but at the same time I was a little worried because I heard they fired a bunch of the writers after Season 1, so I was worried that it was going to fall apart, but then someone's like, no, Season 2, it gets really good after here, so, oh yeah, I just shaved, so I digress. So, I was going to Season 2, a little skeptical, but at the same time pretty excited, and it started off really good. You had all this cool stuff, like mob of walkers, you had the group getting fragmented as they search for Sophia. There was some good dilemma in terms of, like them, Shane betraying Otis and stuff. There was some really, really good stuff. I was like, wow, this show is finding its stride. This might be the season where this show gets really good. Maybe it's next season 3 everyone's talking about. But unfortunately, as the season went on, I want to say I hate Walking Dead, but I definitely felt like the show took some steps backward. I definitely started becoming less engaged in what was happening. And, sorry, I have an itch on my nose. Less engaged in what was happening. Sorry, really distracting. Less engaged in what was happening. The characters became really unlikable. And not only that, but stupid itch on my nose. But the pacing of the show moved really slowly. And there's a lot of instances where I heard in the comics it was different. And from what I heard, it's like, yeah, that you should have kept it that way. So, what didn't I like? Well, I didn't like how there are moments in the show where I feel like you could have moved things a little faster. You could have sped it along. It felt like there were more episodes in the show than the writers know what to do, and there was a lot of filler-y stuff. Like, for example, when they discover the walkers in the bar, it's like, okay, shit should happen, but it takes like 2 episodes for anything to happen with it. Shane will do something radical. I'm like, okay, we should deal with Shane right here, right now. But no, it's like, they either sideline him or kind of deal with him, make it seem like, okay, it's good, and then he'll come back and do something, and then they'll kind of deal with him again, and be like, okay, we're done with Shane, and then they'll bring it back up, and it's like, just deal with him. And the thing is, I've heard in the comics with Shane, apparently he dies much earlier, and the writer's like, oh, we're doing some alternate reality, or what if Shane lived on? And yeah, that's interesting, but do something interesting. Don't just have it be like, Shane's clearly an asshole, and the writers and the characters are clearly should be dealing with Shane, but they are clearly putting it off. And there are numerous moments where they give Shane a chance, and they still keep him on board, even though he tried to kill Otis. He's in a serious relationship with Rick's wife, which I heard in the comics is much less, and I think it works much better that way. Because it does not work here at all, this dumb love triangle they have. Sort of love triangle. Or he's constantly lying with Otis. All this stuff. It's like, why do you even bother with this asshole? And what's even worse is with Shane is that there comes a point in the show when I just stop liking him. I mean, to quote Elaine, it's like, you have good ideas, your presentation is awful. And I agree. Shane could be an interesting character. This other voice, this voice of we gotta go, we gotta instinct, go. But, like, Shane's action has some interesting ideologies in terms of how they should deal with their problems. But the problem is that he's not written very well. He is not likable. At no point can you sympathize. Is there a point when you can say, oh, he has a point. Oh, you can sympathize with him. Because he's just whiny and angry and an asshole all the time to the point where he's not even likable. You can't even just sympathize with him and say, okay, I can see you siding with Shane. Like, it's very clear that Rick is right and Shane is wrong. But then there comes a point in the show when, this is probably going to be a rant, for the most part, just letting you know, Where Rick becomes unlikable. He just becomes so preachy about rational, and it's like, ugh. So, but yeah. So I'm just gonna say some stuff I like, just so I don't upset like the people who actually like this season. Love the season because I liked it. I mean, there were some stuff I liked. I liked Dale. I liked some stuff with Dale. I liked the introduction of Hershel and his farm. Even though it did sort of go on a little longer than it needed to, I liked the stuff with Merle this season and him looking for the daughter. I love the resolution with Sophie. I thought that was great, even if it's one of those, like, someone should have really, Hershel had no idea. No one spoke up or said anything. Let's see what else. I like the trial scene where they're deciding what to do with Brandon. Although I feel like should have devoted more of the episode to it as opposed to the pointless filler, because I would have loved to hear every character talked, especially. Sorry, you're just gonna have to put up with me picking my nose. TDog, that's another issue I have with this season. TDog, you have all these characters who aren't really developed that well. Like, TDog. He barely does anything. He has a couple lines here and there, and that's it. Instead, we spend excessive amounts of time on characters that aren't interesting. Like, Carl! I fucking hate Carl! I mean, you should be like, Jay Star's 60s, just a kid laugh. Bullshit. He is so unlikable. It's just like, because he's a fucking idiot! Okay, first episode, he gets fucking shot! For his, I want to help out, I want to be a hero. And you know what he does after that? He should be like, oh shit, I should be more careful. I shouldn't be so willing to go out there. He's constantly getting get done. He's going out adventuring. And you know what happens when he does it? He encounters a fucking walker that almost kills him. And then, rather than just either killing it or reporting it, he is quiet. And then the walker kills Dale, and that should be the oh shit, maybe I should just hang back moment. But no! He sneaks out of the house to confront Rick. Now, to be fair, he does save Rick's life from Shane, but still, it's like, put a leash on this kid. He never learns, and not only that, but then the fact that he's clearly #1 fan of asshole Shane just bothers me even more, which, again, the fact that they just clearly make Shane an asshole, no redeemable qualities, nothing likable about him, just pisses me off. Because, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Zuko's hothead, he's kind of a jerk, but they make him likable and well-written, because you know where he's coming from, because you understand that he's not a bad person, he's just conflicted about who he is and what he wants. As opposed to Shane, where he is just asshole. So yeah, now let's get on to my other thing that pisses me off about the season. The women. I fucking hate the way most of the women are showed on the show. Not all, there are some exceptions. I'm generally okay with Maggie, even though she is, I don't know, she could use a bit more development, but I'm generally okay with her. Elaine, the blonde-haired girl, I think that's her name. Oh, Andrea. I didn't like her at first, but I think she sort of developed over the season. She had an arc. And she did grow and become more interesting, especially towards the end. But some of the other women, man, are they unlikable. First, there's Rick's wife, who, with each episode, I grew to dislike her more and more. She is the generic, worried mom, which bothers me. Then there's the fact that she doesn't communicate stuff like her being pregnant. The fact that she is over-worried about stuff like her son. But I'm trying to think. Then there's the dumb female driver bit, where she's driving and reading the map and she crashes, which basically fits into the women are bad drivers stereotype. But the biggest moment for me, and IGN pointed this out, is the end, when she clearly feels uncomfortable with Shane. And she clearly warns Rick about Shane. And then Rick tells her that she had to kill Shane because he devised this elaborate plan to get him alone with Rick so they could kill him. And Rick says, I had to put him down. And she gets pissed off at him. It's like, what the hell? Rick needed to defend himself. Let's see, what other women were unlikable? Oh yeah, Sophia's mom. Who I don't hate, per se, but her only character trait is that she's worried about Sophia. That's her only personality trait in the entire show. That's it. I like Sophia. I like Sophia. That's her only personality. And then there's all the other women who are mostly just red shirts, just who have no personality because they get killed by the walkers at the end of the season. And it's really sad because there are shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender where the women are they're such strong female characters. They're well written, they're well developed, they're likable. Characters like Katara, who even when she's pissed off or angry or upset, you know where she's coming from, and she's still likable and relatable. But here, nope. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, Glenn. I like Glenn up until a certain point. Then he got botched up in this will he, won't he relationship with Maggie, which went on for far too long. And ultimately, again, it just dragged on. And I think that's the ultimate problem I have with this season. A lot of the issues I have with this season are the show just didn't move fast enough. And as a result, and there was just way too much time for the characters to breathe. And it got to this point where I was just getting really annoyed with the slow pace of the show. The characters were becoming less and less likable with each episode. Like every episode, there become a character I'd start to like less. And it's to this point right now where there might be just like one or two characters that I actually like. Everyone else I either hate or don't have any feeling towards. And it's a shame because I really liked some of these characters at the start. But now it's like, I don't even know. And then they killed off like 2 major characters this season, and it's like 3. And it's like, you're playing your cards really early. I mean, I feel like some of these characters should be kept around a little longer, but I digress. So, yeah, if they had just shortened it, moved the pacing, maybe dealt with Shane, maybe dealt with the walkers in the barn, and just deal with Hershel's farm a little faster, this could have been a better season. But as of right now, it's disappointing, because there's some really good stuff in here, especially early on. But as the season progresses, for me, it just got really kind of, come on, let's move it. And I fucking hate that character. I still like the show, but when I get out of a season finale, I should legitimately be interested in where the show's going. And to some extent, I still am. But I should be pissed that season over and really want to wait until, and really not want to wait for the next season. I should be able to jump right in there. And I mean, I always like taking breaks between seasons, but even so, I should not walk out of a season just saying I need a break. I am sick of it. And that's exactly Walking Dead. It overstayed its welcome. The characters were likable. So even though there was a lot of good stuff, there was so much stuff that just bothered me to the point where I'm like, I need a break from Walking Dead. I need to move on to something else for a bit. And yeah, so as to whether or not I like season 1 or 2 better, I don't think it's fair to compare since they're both different lengths. I think season 1 might have been a bit better, if anything. Season 2 definitely had a lot better moments than season 1. But I think season 1 was a bit stronger overall. You have the really good pilot. The show was much better in terms of keeping things moving, like the medical facility. That was one episode. Everything it needed to do in that episode, in the refugee center, it did in that one episode. Whereas if it didn't spend 13 episodes in that facility. So yeah. So again, I think season 1 was a bit better because it flowed better and it still does really good moments. I am curious to see where season 3 goes. Hopefully, they'll take into account the negative feedback, because apparently a bunch of people are complaining with the pacing of the show, and things will move a bit faster next season. But yeah, I'm probably going to take a break from Walking Dead for a bit. I might either go back to Breaking Bad, or I might watch a bit of House of Cards. Because, yeah, I need a break. So, are you big on this season of Walking Dead? Please comment and let me know. Also, if you want me to... Also, do you want me to continue Walking Dead? I mean, I'm going to continue regardless, but do you, based on what I've said so far, do you think I'll enjoy Season 3 of Walking Dead, or you are like, no, we should stay away from it? Please comment and let me know below. And, yeah, this is JStar360, signing out.